Shalom, my friends. It's Sunday, February 24th, 1 month since I went in the hospital, and I hope that this will be my last update on all this. Tomorrow I'm scheduled to go in and get these tubes removed from my back, these stents that are in my kidneys, and come home and get back to normalcy. Abba willing. I got the bill from the hospital. Some of this is like really crazy. One thing on here is $627 for physical therapy, and I want to ask someone about that because I didn't get any physical therapy. They kept talking about it. I never got it. They left me in that bed way too long, and it was my own willpower where I said, you know, I told my daughter, I says, there's so many people making decisions around here that no decisions are being made. I need to take charge. And, you know, like I've said before, you get caught up in this thing of everybody's doing everything for you, and you get lost in that, and you get weak, and you don't do anything for yourself. Well, that really goes against my grain. I mean, I'm an extremely independent individual, and I think for myself. I don't care what other people say about anything. I mean, I consider what other people say, but I never let other people make decisions for me, and I got caught up in that. Well, finally I said, I told my daughter, I says, you know, starting tomorrow I'm getting out of this bed. And I think I told you in my last update, you know, I got out of the bed, over to the chair. Unbelievable. I mean, just sitting up and putting my feet on the floor and sitting on the bed, I was out of breath. I mean, it's unbelievable. So physical therapy, $627. I mean, I started getting out of the bed myself, and I was like, where's physical therapy, you know? And I had started shouting, and finally they sent a girl. She came one time, walked me around the block, so to speak, on my floor, and said, you know, you don't need, what do they call it? You don't need to go to rehab. You know, they were going to send me to another facility for rehabilitation and do the physical therapy there. She walked me around, but I had already been getting up and you know, strengthening my body myself, so that when she walked me, she says, you don't need rehab, you're ready to go home. So what's this $627 for her to come that one time and walk me for 3 minutes? That's crazy. This one, I gotta show you this one. It's on the very bottom. Can you see that? And if you go across, over here it says that it's for the room and bed. $154,180 for the room and a bed. That doesn't count, you know, the IV or anything else, recovery room, radiology, lab, blood bank, you know, whatever. $154,000 for a room and a bed for 2 weeks. Is there a vacation spot anywhere on the planet that you could spend $150,000 for 2 weeks? Then, you know, on the last page here, there's just one thing listed. It says payments and adjustments, and it says self-pay discount. I can't imagine what that is. And that's a deduction of $190,543.84. You know, I don't know what they're doing or what they're thinking. Boy, $21,000 for radiology. $9,000 for labs, $6,000 for CT scan, another $3,000 for another CT scan. You know, it goes on and on. The total that I owe them is $29,000, $29,899.40. Now, I still have to apply for this thing called charity care, and that should knock this down, but $30,000. And that's with a almost $200,000 discount for something. I can't figure it out. Anyway, I'm feeling pretty good. I think when I get these stents and tubes out of my back, out of my kidneys, and I'm going to start getting out and taking walks, and I think I'll pretty much be back to normal. Hopefully next week I'll get back to a teaching on the Father's Word. Hallelujah. Boy, do I miss that. It's been an amazing thing. 1 month to the day today. Give me your prayers, please, for tomorrow if you watch this in time. Tomorrow is Monday, February 25th. I have an appointment at 10 o'clock. They're going to take these out. I don't know if they're going to knock me out for that. You know, they knocked me out to put them in, but it's just a local, you know, it wasn't too bad. But maybe taking them out will be quicker and easier. I just can't wait to get home without these tubes, because then I can, you know, kind of feel like it's all over with. Thank you so much again for your prayers, for fasting. You know it made a difference. Miracles. I'm the miracle boy. And thank you so much for your financial support. Still coming in through the mail and through PayPal and whatnot. I'm so appreciative. I've had no work, you know. Maybe now I can start drumming some up again, but you know, I basically build websites, you know, for my income, and if you're on my channel, you'll see a link. I can never know which way to point. I think it's on that side. It says need a website, get Alan. If you know anybody that needs websites, you know, send them to me. That helps. But you know, again, thank you so much for your financial help. Man, talk about family. It's beautiful. So, and also I spent a good amount of time since I talked to you last reading the Get Well cards. I still have a stack like this. I don't know, maybe there's 100 of them there that I haven't read yet. But those are greatly appreciated too. The baruk that you send me in these messages are truly precious. They mean a lot to me. So that's it. You know, next week I want to do a teaching. You know, I had this written down before I even went in the hospital, and that is life. I want to talk about life versus chai. In your Hallelujah scriptures, you'll see the word life at times, and at other times you'll see the word chai, H-A-I. There's a dot under the H. That means you do the thing, chai. And if you look up in the back, you know, chai means life. Well, what's the deal? How come sometimes you see life and other times you see chai? There's a difference, and I'm going to explain that next week. Also, Saluch asked me to explain 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verses 10 and 11, which I cover in one of my videos, but he said I didn't mention, or I didn't explain about the delusion that Elohim sends on all those who don't love the truth. And I guess I'll cover that too. anything else, you know, if you have any questions, you know, send me an email or whatever, you know, post a comment on this video. I don't allow comments on my teaching videos because it just gets too crazy. But if there's something you want me to cover, let me know. I'm looking forward to getting back to the Father's work, and hallelujah. I don't need to give you any other updates. But give me your prayers for tomorrow that they don't, like, kill me in the hospital. You never know, you know. And I get home quick, soon, and just, you know, no pain. Let me get back to living my life with Chai. I love you all so much. Thank you for your continued support, encouragement, and I'll see you next week. Shalom.